Good morning, everyone. This is Ava with Stitching in the Interlake. This is my second Stitch With Me video. Now, I know yesterday, if you were watching, I did quite a few flub ups and that. My project wasn't down far enough so you could see me stitching. And I apologize for that. But again, this is a learning curve for me. So, yeah, today is the 25th of June, 2021. And like I said, this is Stitch With Me number 2. And today is just, I'm going to continue working here on Country Living. I don't know where my picture went. Oh, phooey. No, I don't know where it went. But I think I might have a picture, so I'll put it in at the front maybe. So yesterday I was working over here and I finished up all this up to the top here and right along here. So now I'm going to be starting here, I guess. When stitching, I do sometimes put it upside down. And going upside down to where you were stitching is okay. But if I decided I was going to stitch this way, sideways, it's not, because the stitches will go differently. Well, maybe I'll do here. And so this is the thread I'm working with. This is 920 DMC. And I will show you again when I pull a thread. I isolate one of the threads. Okay, all right, there, we'll go with that one. And then I gently pull. And as you can see, it does go like this. But if you pull gently, you see it releases. Now, this is an 11 count. And normally on an 11 count, you should use 3 threads, but I found it too bulky with this. So here again, did you see what I did? I did, to do the loop method, this is one strand. These are the 2 cut ends, and I put them together. And that gives me a loop here at the other end. And that's exactly what I want. So I have my needle. I put my needle through the eye. And as you can see, I don't lose contact with the threader, the needle, or the thread. It all remains in my fingers. And then I loop it around. You'll see there, it's looped. And then I just gently pull it through. And you want the cut ends to be more towards your needle and the looped end at the bottom. And then what I do is I start this way. I find my spot. And as you can see, I stitch in hand. So I just grab my fabric. And the fabric is loosening up quite a bit now because I'm manipulating it more. So as you can see, I brought my needle up from the bottom where I want to stitch. And then I go down in the opposite corner and I gently pull, and you can see there's that loop already. And I bring my needle through, and there's my looped end. Jonah just came in. He had something to eat. So now he's going to sleep. Okay, so then when I start the second arm, I come up in the top left corner and I go down. Okay. Now I'm going to start the sewing method. Okay, just a minute. I got to get a drink. Okay. I set up where I want to stitch. Oh no. Here comes trouble. Jonah, stay over there. Jonah, stay over there. Oh boy. Just a second. Come on, Jonah. Jonah. Oh my gosh. He's just being a pain. Okay. Maybe he'll stay there or jump off or do something. There he goes. I thought he was going to lay in his bed. Oh, he might. As long as he's quiet. As long as he's quiet. Okay. I am setting it up here now to work on the sewing method. I bring it up where I want to start. And then I go down. And you see there, I brought the needle through. So you can see there how the needle is right there. And then I do that and pull my thread through. Then I put my needle in the opposite corner and I go underneath. This is called the sewing method or stitching on top of the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going down again and I go up because what you want is a steady rhythm. Okay, you don't want to try and do jerky movements. So I did this arm. Now I'm going to do this arm. You see here, I put my needle underneath and I go up to the top and I go across again. See if I can lift this up a bit. Oh dear, maybe I've been out of focus again. Okay, so there. And it's hard to do this. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is to do this. And with the camera or my iPad above me, and it's just right above here. And it's in the way, and I'm trying to peek through and look at it. Okay. There. Now I come down and I finish up the stitching. There. As you can see, my stitches are all going in the same direction. For those who are having a hard time grasping this, what I would suggest is do the stabbing method and see where your needle goes. So if you go like this, and then you go like that, and what it would be, okay, I would push this one down, and I know this is coming up here. So instead of, let me see, I'm hoping this will go. I'll bring it back up. Right. So instead of stabbing down and coming up here from underneath again with my hand, I do like, I put my needle this way so that it comes up again where I want to stitch. And do you see how it's the same thing that you do, except that you glide the needle underneath the fabric? So I'm going to do these 2 stitches. So as you can see, I am going to go up here. Oh dear, Jonah, you come to say hello? Sorry, Jonah. Come on, move on. Okay. Let's see here if I can get a little bit more light on this situation. Maybe, you know what, there. Oh, maybe there. Okay. I did this diagonal here. And because I want to go up to this one here, now I could either do it this way, or just a minute, or what I can do is, okay, let me thread my needle again. There. There. Or what I can do is, because I only have 1 stitch here and don't have a stitch here that I need to do, that I go underneath and come up where that one went so that I'm set up again for doing my same stitch. And now I want to go over and do this stitch. So then I come here and bring my needle here so that I can set up my first stitch again. So instead of going down and pulling it through underneath and then poking it up from the bottom, I go, which is exactly the same thing. Okay, if you really think about it, just think about where your needle is going and where you want it to go. Okay, so instead of pushing it down and pulling it through and then poking it back up again. Right across there. I just simplify it. Now I want to go down here and I want to set up my first stitch, my first arm. So I come down here, and as you can see, I want my first arm always to go in the same direction, which is bottom left to top right. That's my way. If you stitch the opposite and it's bottom right to top left and then bottom left to top right, then do that as long as you are consistent with the direction that your stitch goes. Okay. So now I have decided I'm going to come down and do this one. Okay. So I put my needle down through, and because I want to come up here, I push the needle, and if you notice here, this finger goes underneath. Can't really show it like that. Okay. I hope that shows up. I just gently push it from underneath. My fingers barely touch it. And then I pull. And what you want to try and do when you're stitching is minimize where you're going. Okay, so say I was over here and I finished there, but had all of this to do. I wouldn't go over here. I would go down here and finish and then bring it down and that way and then up so that I'm minimizing the number of stitches underneath. Okay, do you see that? There's very rarely, and I believe it was down here, yeah. But that's okay. These are okay. What I don't like is if you're bringing a thread from here and going way over here. No, I'm sorry. It will end up bulky, and it will not lay right. And what a waste of thread, really. Okay, so I went there. Now I want to go to this stitch. So I put my needle there, because this here brings that arm down. And then I poke it there, but I gently push it so that it is vertical. Okay. There. Because then that sets me up that I can go here. Now, because this one is here, I go underneath and push it through. Because I can't go this way, whereas a left-handed person could go this way. I can't. And then I put it down. I have my middle finger underneath, because you can, that's my nail there. And I want to set up my first stitch. So I do that. And then I put my needle there. It is just a matter of finding your way. You find where the needle can go of less resistance, I guess, shortest distance. So there and there. So if I was doing here, I wouldn't go down here, or I wouldn't go from this stitch way up here. Okay. Because if I went way over here, just going to show you. Do you see how that thread tracked all the way over there? Now, you put several threads there, and it's just going to look too bulky for me. Now, if you're happy with that, and you're okay with that, then go for it. Myself, no. No, that's not an option for me. Well, everyone, how are you doing today? We are almost at the end of June. Can you believe it? It is. It is just hard for me to fathom how fast this month has gone. I have been deciding on what I'm going to work on for Jolly July. So when I work on Jolly July stuff, I'm putting this one away, which is Country Living. And I will pick up a few winter or Christmas ones or something like that. Now, I have decided that for me, just a minute. Sorry. I have watched some people who have their calendars already set for what they are doing, what they will be stitching for Jolly July. And they alternate day to day. I can't do that. I just, to me, that's just, it's too erratic for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to work on one project for 1 week and put it down and pick up another project. I think I can probably get the same amount done. The 1st of July falls on Thursday, which is Canada Day for us here. Back in 1867, Canada became a nation separate from England. And Sir John A. Macdonald was our first Prime Minister. And I know there's a lot of controversy brewing about Sir John A. That's like saying George Washington. Okay. Back in 1776, even though he brought the U.S. together, now they want to tear down his statues and erase the memories from history books and all the facts from then. And it's ludicrous because for us that was 150 53 years, 54 years ago. And that history, whether you like it or not, is part of what made Canada Canada. You can't just arbitrarily say, I don't like this in the history books and just wipe it away. The whole idea, and I believe that it was Truman, I think, who said that if we do not remember history, then we are doomed to repeat it. And that's the way I believe. What happened back then in 1776 and in 1867 for us, that was a totally different time. Okay? That was, people thought differently, people acted differently. There were not the rules and regulations that are now in place. And to destroy a statue or take down a statue or deface it or whatever, all you're doing is muddying the waters of history. And history is something that we should never forget. So that's like in the States saying, okay, we don't like George Washington or John Adams or whoever the other early presidents were, I can't remember. That because they because they lived in a time of slavery doesn't mean that we live in that time of slavery. But if we knew nothing of the history and who these people were, playing with the idea of revisionist history just means that in the future, we're going to repeat it. And that's not good. That's not something that should happen. History is what it is. We cannot go back and change it. Boy, if we could, I'd be changing a lot in my history. But the thing is, we can't. And we are better to learn from that history than to try and erase it and say, I don't like the way that this was. I don't like this person. That's who he was. Just like Sir John A. I think Sir John A. was he was part of the contingency that set up residential schools. Now, at that time, they thought it was the best thing. They thought they were doing a good thing. Looking back, now we realize it wasn't. But it happened. So learn from it. Learn who these people were and work with that. I'm just seeing my time. And work with that and let it not happen again. Right? So, with what happened during the Civil War in the U.S., the World Wars One and Two, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, what happened over in Desert Storm 1 and 2. Let us learn from that and let us move forward in peace and reconciliation, if you will. It's a big word up here. And just move forward. I know there's a lot of anger out there with the residential schools and what was found in just east of Regina with 750 unmarked graves. I am sorry that it happened. I am absolutely 100% sorry that it happened to you. But we don't know what really went down then. We don't know what happened then. And to blame all of the church is just, I, as a Catholic, can do nothing about it. Pope Francis, I believe, should step up and acknowledge and offer forgiveness. I don't know if forgiveness. No, that's not the right word. Offer an apology to the Aboriginal community or Indigenous community here in Canada for what occurred back then. Does that mean he's at fault? No, not directly. Indirectly, he is by not apologizing. But the thing is, even with an apology, it doesn't change. It doesn't, an apology doesn't change what is. And the only thing that can happen is that we learn from it and never let it happen again. So, anyway, enough of that talk. So here, right now, it's 11:15. And at about 12:30, I am walking to the post office. And then I'll be home, and then I'm just going to stitch and enjoy my day. And Jonah has finally settled down. He finally found his place to lay. He's up on top of the cage. And please pray for me that I can get into that house. Oh my gosh. We still don't know what's happening. And here it is, the 25th. Oh, I should say, today, the 25th of June, is supposed to be full disclosure day for the UFO or UAP community, that the U.S. military is supposed to come forth with disclosure about all these UAPs, formerly known as UFOs, so unidentified airborne phenomenon, or aerial phenomenon. So I really hope that they drop a bombshell and they reveal that UAPs or UFOs are indeed real, and they've been flying around Earth for probably billions of years. And I know I saw them when I was young, and I saw one near Regina when I was driving one night, and it was, yeah. So I hope and pray that they come clean. I don't know if they'll do that about Roswell or the Phoenix Lights or Shag Harbor or Rendlesham. I don't know, but I sure hope they do. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how much they reveal. But U.S. military has been known for a lot of secrecy. They don't want to let anybody know anything. So, okay, I think I'm going to finish. I'm going to work on this here now. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to continue working because I'm working this way. Okay. And I will just continue working. I may get this part done today. And that I'm hoping to get maybe even this color, this 920 done before I move on to my Christmas in July. But I will show you on Sunday what I'm planning to do on my FlossTube video for Christmas in July. All right. I guess that's it. I'm praying this goes up again, and I'm praying that it's okay that you can see it and that you have learned how to do the sewing method. And I guess that's it. So I will see you tomorrow, and may everyone have a blessed day, and may peace come forth out of you to show other people. And with that being said, thumbs up, people, comments, please subscribe, and God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye.